I'm chomping on my.
Hi, everyone. I'm Barbara Leonhard, and this is our open mic with Garden of Neuro. It happens every third Tuesday every month, and it's a gathering to share our work and our visions and our feelings. To tell you something about the Garden of Neuro, we envision a world where all women are seen and heard. Our community practices deliberative conversations, sociocratic decision-making, and collective projects for the benefit of all engaged members. We share wisdom through book clubs, kitchen table talks, free and paid courses, and collaborative work. And we have simple rules: respect all spaces, be curious, ask questions, support women's agency, and be open to life's possibilities. So that's what our objectives are. And so when we gather here every month, we can share these. And also, I highly recommend you Google Garden of Neuro Institute online and join. It's free. Thank you for sharing that, Nancy.
Thank
So
you, Barbara.
we have several people signed up, but 5 so far. We can probably go ahead and start. I had said in the invitation on Zoom that maybe we could do some resistance poetry. I have some that I have a poem I have to look for that I share every year. I'm going to send it out in my Christmas letter to people whose address I have. So if you want a copy of this poem, email me.
I was going to say, I'm going to drop my address right here. Everyone else drop your addresses
Yeah.
here. I love sending holiday cards. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're snarky, sometimes they're emotional. I don't know. But I love sending something in the mail and receiving something in the mail. So that's a good idea.
So I'm
You're going to
putting it
send
in
your
chat.
resistance poetry though as a Christmas holiday.
Well, I have my Christmas tree up. I've kept it up for 4 or 5 years now, since the Ukraine war started anyway, or at least even before that, maybe. Yeah.
It's
So I
just
put
up
a
year
poem
round.
year round. It drives little kids crazy when they come for lessons with my husband. They go, "Why is your Christmas tree still up?"
Well, why
And
not?
I walk in the room and I say, "Why not?
Ah,
Keep it up until there's no more war."
now you've given me okay. So on I think it was November 1st, I put up my Christmas stuff out, my holiday stuff outside. And the rest of it has been sitting on my pool table ever since.
Oh, okay.
I've not done any, sorry, all my dings and dongs going on. I've not done any thing with it. So now you've given me a reason to put it up and leave it up. Oh, I love it.
I'm looking for my poem to read. Oh, so this was put up in Paddler Press. It was their issue was Grace. Um, and he nominated it for a pushcart prize, but I guess
Oh,
I
congratulations.
should have looked for it before. I'm like, not maybe I can read mine later, but yeah, if you want the poem that I'll read in your, not just your email but your home address, I can send it to your home if you want to put that in. I don't know if you want your address out to the world though. But
Okay,
maybe
I'll put my
email me
email.
your home address. Maybe that's the way to go. And I'll send you my holiday message, holiday, New Year, whatever, whenever I get it out. But let me see if I can get this poem. That crazy old lady. So I've read this in some groups, and some women said, "Oh, I want a copy of that poem. My mother keeps her Christmas tree up." Oh, it won't open. Why am I am like Google unsavvy today. Okay, I'll try this one. Oh, sorry, I'm unprepared.
I was just messaging Nancy
Hi.
saying that I didn't have a passcode, and then I looked in the email.
Okay. Okay, here
That's
it is.
good. I apologize for the Zoom confusion trying to figure out how this
Oh,
registration thing works.
yeah.
I was able to send an email out this morning using the Zoom system. that has the actual link to the actual meeting instead of another registration link. So if you haven't registered that way, I will drop a link to that in the chat also. So we'll get it figured out. We'll get it figured out, I promise. Okay, Barbara, I'm sorry.
Oh, this is one of my poems I could read today. That crazy old lady still has her Christmas tree up. Indeed, been there 3 years now. The LED lights haven't failed to sparkle at passers-by walking their dogs and children playing in the park. The few music students continuing since COVID struck blinks several times as they arrive weekly for lessons to see the tree still waiting for more bluegrass tunes. The bluebird pecking at the windows each spring. Does it want to nest in the tree's brilliant branches alongside the crystalline angels and shimmering orbs on artificial branches? My tree, fake news? Hardly. As my gaze rests there, I'm spared headlines of disease, mass shootings, bombs marked for the children, the inflictions of isms, the forays of fear. My Christmas tree, determined to stand until kindness and forgiveness light up this world again.
Oh,
That's
that's beautiful, Barbara.
So I decided that would be a good Christmas letter.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I include recipes in mine too.
Oh yeah.
Encourage people to read to the end.
So maybe that can get us started. I have another one if we have time, but we can. Oh, I have an announcement. I started a new literary magazine called Feed the Holy. So when you hear that in your soul, in your body, what do you feel? Feed the holy. And so I can put the submission guidelines in the link in the chat. But basically it's something I created for these times, this time in history where people are suffering right now because of the especially in our country right now, well, all over the world, but people need, to maybe search inside and find ways to share share their inner self, I suppose. Love of nature, joy. I put up a call for holidays, you can write about holidays or just some kind, peaceful poems that can appeal to people. I go into great detail on in the submission call. How do you survive at times like these? What can you tell people? What's it like to be human right now? And I'm getting submissions, so I have poems up, sometimes more than one, but I upgraded my account, so now I can actually schedule the poems and not just put them all up in one day. They're $3.33 a day on Blogspot. You can upgrade your account. They're really not asking for much money at all. And so some people send several poems and I don't necessarily want to waste them all on one post. I'm not like that. So I'll spread them out. Keep the good word going. So I'll put the link in the chat. Oh, and when you get email from me, the link is in my signature of my email too. Feed the Holy. There'll be a link to the blog. Those are my two announcements. Who would like to read next? And you can read one poem. We can take turns. You'll read a couple, whatever you like, or if you have something that's not a poem. Or
I see Aruna's got her hand up.
okay, Aruna. It's hard because it's just I only see like your head. I didn't even see your. There you go. I can see more. You see your hand right now. Okay, thank you. Would you like to read?
Yes.
Oh, go on mute.
So this poem is called Mirage. A sheet of silver, solemn ice, a slice of glass, a slim film of water on the still desert, covering crevices on the tar road. Brilliant and blue, you are a miracle, a mirror, a mirage, too good to be true. In you, I see buildings, blades of grass, the scar on car tires, there but not there, like my passing thoughts, of the homeless, aging, autistic, and blind, of demons scathing human minds, beacons birthing a bloom, visionary, illusionary, you are the magic behind the death of the unkind. There is no hate, no blemish on caring hearts, so don't go away. You are the mirage I see today.
Mm. That's lovely.
Thank you.
I really love all the imagery that you used, Aruna. Really, really impactful.
Thank you.
I always like your cadence, the way the rhythm of your voice as you read.
Maybe I should read more then.
Love it.
I'll try to read something and my throat keeps going in and out, but I can see what I can do. This is one that was published by Chewers by Mescadores recently. This was my poem after the election. This is what I have to say today. The waves of blue as compared to a rampant red, raggedy one, blasted to the world of need. With a course toward peace with equality, freedom, real kingdom come, if you will. Disrupted by the red-robed rage and strange bedfellows with real evil, if you will. As they blast that red, white, quick claim on the blue train, powered up down the track like a mad whistler, ready to storm into the night, no doubt, with white lights powered by billionaires. Reflections on white hoods, only this time it's different. Enslaved people are already numbered. There's a take back to the times when slaves hid. There's plenty to backtrack, do you remember? And worse, to go forward. Shots fired with no regrets, back then and now it's come back. Mentally deranged leadership takes over and ruins the children. So, tell me now, this is what you wanted? Then step off my porch. I may not be able to whistle, nor even shout loud enough for what it's worth. My home is open to peace, my brothers and sisters. Let's go to the altar of humankind. Embrace one another. We never needed each other more.
Mm. That's so
Really,
beautiful.
really powerful, Lisa.
Thank
Wow.
you.
And the way you read it just showed all the deep sorrow, you know.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you.
beautiful. Boy,
Hi,
we're
Cheryl.
we're
See
doing
Cheryl
great.
down there.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, we're just taking rounds, and you know, so far we've just been reading one poem, but I don't know how many people will show, but we might be able to do more than one possibly. Who would like to go next?
I can go.
Okay.
On the theme of sorrow post-election, this has been a rough week.
Yeah.
This past week. So it's good to be with you all. I'm still working on this one, but November 12th, 2024, 7 days after an unsettling election, I arise from what feels like deep, suffocating mud, through which we must trudge, through, onward, forward, to a more uncertain future, what feels like a losing proposition. From a beloved river bluff, I seek clarity and strength. From twinkling teal water, it too must push on. I gaze at golden ginkgo leaves flittering in autumn's chilly breeze, a great blue heron sailing across the bluest of November skies. Such miracles of nature have no idea what just happened. To the country where my grandparents saw light, immigrants, members of the huddled masses who passed through Ellis Island holding their bare minimums, seeking refuge from persecution. Today's angry voters who chose their tyrants have no idea the fears they'll face. For now, they'll keep their eyes glued to screens, take marching orders from X, and pay higher prices for eggs.
Oh, powerful. Yeah, those darn eggs. What we'll sell out just to save a few cents on eggs.
Exactly.
It's like we're living a fiction right now.
Yeah.
And you can't say or do it. I feel helpless because it's thanks to Kellyanne Conway. Alternate facts. There are alternate facts, right? Oh my gosh.
That is too much. I'll go next if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I think I started this one last month. I was this is the one that I entered into the poetry contest at my college, and I didn't make it. Maybe you can tell me why. It was pretty intense. Okay. So the theme was one world, many stories. And the title of mine is Too Many Similar Silent Stories. So many stories we have yet to know, others we'll never know. Lost to the victors who held the pen and the paper, the bullets and the band-aids, lost to his story. Stories, the things we tell, a way to define our world, ourselves, the heaven we live in, or our own personal hell. About living in comfort, about doing what you please, about struggling for every minute, and nothing comes with ease. But what of her story? How might her story be different if she had held the power and the pen? What of these stories, the ones we don't tell, the ones we're told not to, the ones we whisper at the well? If there's war, the victims are women at the hands of men on a mission. To win the war, the invaders know they must take the children and the women. It doesn't matter how many invaders or how many generations have passed. The danger women everywhere face is something even a so-called civilized society can't seem to get past. A woman is beaten in the Sahara Desert. A woman is beaten in the elevator at the Sahara in the desert. A woman is beaten in her office, at her job, at her school, in her store, in her car, in her kitchen, in her bed. It doesn't matter her race, her religion, her country, her party. The story is the same. She ends up dead. When will the punishment fit the crime of men who beat, of men who rape, of men who murder, of men who can't or won't or believe they don't have to take no for an answer? Her story is vast, and there are so many to count. 52% of the world's population waiting it out. Now the time has come for our voices to be lifted. We see the problem and we've figured it out, how to teach all of us and the other 48% how to be human again. Because the truth of the matter is about to reveal what past generations have been trying and are still trying to wash out. How could doing the right thing be more than we are capable of doing? It's our stories that make us who we are. Each story, each word in them so very important. We leave everything else behind when we leave this earth, but we take our words with us when we go. So many of them, while all too similar, will never be told. Our words matter, our actions matter, crimes against women matter, and change will only happen when predators are held accountable. When respect is granted to everyone, no matter their sex, their race, their religion, no matter their country, their party, their zip code, no matter their language or where they are on this planet. And when we learn to love and respect the earth and each other, agreeing that we are all just humans being.
Lovely. Powerful.
Wow, I can't believe I get so
Ooh,
emotional over it.
whoa, well, it was a
Those are the best poems.
powerful.
Thank you.
I know.
And
Love
I
you,
really-
Nancy.
Yeah.
I just want to say.
Beautiful.
I liked the way you used words to, you played on words like we are humans, human being. You know, how you worked that out was really good for the ending.
Thank you for noticing
Amazing.
that. That was a tough
Yeah.
one.
And it was well read and carried
Thanks. Thank you, Arun. I
Yeah,
appreciate
very
it.
good.
I love Whisper at the Well.
Yeah, that's a beautiful.
That's a beautiful few words.
Thank you. So one of my, I don't know if you saw the movie Women Talking. One of the most dangerous things in the world appears to be women talking. It just blows me away how fearful 48% of the world's population is of women. I don't get it.
Right.
I don't get it. And that movie it's pretty intense if you've seen it. But yeah, Whisper at the Well.
Well, it's
Wow.
also really dangerous for women oftentimes to go to the well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that woven into that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
But thank you all for letting me share that. That was a tough one. And I kind of knew it wouldn't be accepted at the college level. I don't think they wanted me reading that out loud.
Why
Yeah.
is that, do
Who
you
knows?
think?
Yeah.
Too intense.
Mm.
The line about, they have been and still are trying to whitewash it out.
Mm.
If you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist.
Right.
Right.
Now, were you
Right.
going? Did you submit it for a reading or for in print publication, or what? How did you
They
submit?
had just a contest, and it was going to be part of some college week that they had going on. And on Thursday, they were going to do readings of it.
Okay.
That the winners were going to get to read, and the winners got like $100 gift card at the bookstore. So it wasn't. I don't think they were going to publish it. They might
Okay.
use it. They might have recorded it and used it for something, but I think it was just too intense. Probably not what they were expecting. Because how old are college kids, and how much would they see in that?
Well, that's what I would want to. I would be interested in what they did accept to gauge more. Because I thought it was excellent. So,
I will check out and see who won. I will check their stuff out and see who won. That's I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That might be a good idea
Yeah.
to see what they were looking for in the winning poems.
Probably
Just never
something more
know.
positive and upbeat.
Oh.
Not shaming half the world's population into, pulling their heads out of their asses. I don't know.
Just leave that one under the rug,
Maybe.
Nancy.
Maybe that's it. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
A lot of poets right now are writing, though. I am, because I really struggled after the election. Just, I don't know if anybody else, there's like a resurgence of, what is it called? It's Your Body, My Choice. And I'm like, are we fucking serious? And like the people that are being selected, like women are accusing, it's like, what are we for the women or not? I can't. I think I'm gonna write about that specifically, like your body, my choice. Like, yeah, if you want your eyes gouged out,
Yeah.
maybe.
And I think about that too a lot, Melissa. This is what we hear about, but what we don't talk about is the punishment of men. If there was a punishment that fits the crime, maybe the crime wouldn't happen.
Right.
But because there's no punishment to fit the crime, there's so much more to that poem I was going to put in there. In the state of Texas, I can't remember the state of Texas or the whole number is 64,000 unwanted pregnancies due to rape since all of this has happened in Texas. And why does it keep happening? Because there's no punishment to fit the crime. And I could use a biblical term of, if thine eye offends thee, pluck it out. Well, his eye caused him to do something incredibly offensive, and he should have his eye plucked out and a big patch on it with a P for pervert or something.
Yeah.
An R for rapist, a color that We know, is he a pedophile or is he a rapist by pink or red?
Mm-hmm.
Stapled to his head for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
You know, a
Oh,
physical
man.
outward sign. And it's just, I don't hear anybody talking about it. And, you know, when do we start writing to our elected officials about the punishment of men?
How are you going to write to elected officials when they are the rapists
Right.
and they are
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
perverts, and they
Exactly.
are
I've tried
the
writing
ones
to
that
my,
are misogynists and taking
Right.
advantage of women? You know, it's
Right.
just, it's insane to me that
Right.
we chose a 34 felonious rapist and sent him back to the White House with full knowledge of Project 2025 and what was in it and how it's going to just desecrate minorities and women. And we said, we want more of that. Sign us up for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we did. I honestly believe that there was interference from Russia. You know, Russia's even said we helped.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Iran, China, Elon Musk. All it took was a little bit of numbers this way and a little bit of numbers this way. Not big, huge. They didn't go over big. You know, it wasn't. You know, the most obvious is the least obvious. I think it was manipulated. It's just too weird. It's
Nancy,
just too weird.
I
Not to mention yeah, it's
totally agree with you.
and
Totally.
the polls and the way the media played it. I mean, I just feel like we have just been pigeonholed into something that was very well thought out, you know, and that I don't know. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
There's too
Never
much to
know.
it.
We'll never know.
No, you know who one will know? When Ken Burns the fourth does a documentary on it. 200, you know, 100 years from now.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Too
Yeah.
late.
that's when we'll
It's,
know.
yeah, it's very frustrating. I've tried writing our elected officials in Missouri, but you know, they're all Republican, you know, a lot
Yeah.
of them. They just write back nice little you know, pat me on my head and
Right.
Well, form letters. You know, I've been writing to my elected officials for a long time, and that has totally changed where they don't write back. It's just a form letter you get.
yeah,
That's your
right.
email. Thanks for being
Uh-huh.
a, you know, involved citizen, blah, blah,
Probably
blah,
written
blah.
by AI, you know,
Yeah.
here's what she's worried about. So the AI writes the letter.
Yeah.
You know, I'll bet there's a poem in those form letters.
Right, right.
Oh my
Found
God.
poem. We could go through a form letters and do found
Oh,
poems.
oh my gosh. And then that's what we'll send them.
Right.
Yeah. They'll be looking at it. Is this a riddle?
Right. Oh my gosh.
All right. All right. Who wants
I
to
mean,
share
these
next?
are just, it's
Who wants to share
important to share.
I'll,
Melissa or Cheryl, would you like to read?
I'll read next.
Okay.
Can I read two? I'll be
Sure.
fast.
Sure.
I'm gonna try to lighten our lives. All right. This one's called I Borrowed an Old Woman from the Nursing Home. And if you watch Shameless, that's what it's based on. I borrowed an old woman from the nursing home, was out the door before anyone noticed she was gone. She couldn't remember her name or the date, but she most certainly could whip up a plate. I looked diligently for one who'd fit the bill. Not just any random old geriatric would do. If I was going to pull off my brilliant plan and end up with this month's check in hand, the real Ginger died, about 12 years ago. You know how the old story goes. We were drinking some beers and snorting cocaine. You know what they say, no pain, no gain. Anyway, no more about that. I might incriminate myself. So I borrowed a woman. She seemed in good health. I don't remember if I ever caught her name. Fooled the inspector general all the same. I actually did her a favor, if you ask me. If it wasn't for me, she'd never have been on TV when the news reporters came for the story. Now we have to bring her back every 6 months. All right, that's that one. Oh,
Very funny. Thank you.
thank you. And then my other one is actually like a commentary about everything, the United States. And why did I wrote this in response to, I think, the Writer's Digest. Yeah, chapbook challenge. The prompt was to write a well blank poem. So it's called Well, I'll Be. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. The chickens have flown the coop. Mud-covered pigs flocked along with them, and the elephant demolished the room. Bulls burned down the china shop, chased out the wild goose. Sleeping dogs woke up and lied. Now they're eating each other with spoons. A little bird told me an old wolf-dog hybrid was angry he couldn't learn new tricks. So he cried wolf in sheep's clothing and used billions of dollars of surplus military weapons to demolish the little pig's house of bricks in the name of religion. Horse was high on fentanyl, and it came straight from his mouth. That the cows went home, killed 2 birds with 1 stone, shot all the fish in the barrel, and dumped it out. Now all of the fish are bleeding out, all over the floor, at a snail's pace. The world is their oyster, as hawks watch. Mad as hornets, the eagles rig the electoral race. They are lining up all the ducks in classrooms with semi-automatic rifles. They are siphoning approved literature down their throats to fatten them up for Xmas. There are Chinese laboratories filled with guinea pigs in cages. None were the pick of the litter, so they burned out their eyes, inflicted electroshock therapy on them, pumped them full of diseases, then dumped them by the airplane full on America. Then they caught 99% of them, so they were hailed as heroes. No one remembered just who they were or what they had done. They went on secretly controlling the narrative while they ground all the guinea pigs down into pulp and reshaped them into worms. They put them into cans and set them out in the open, in the ghettos, for the unsupervised children whose parents on drugs or working 3 jobs wouldn't be able to stop them from finding and opening them.
Wow.
So it's a little intense.
That was good. I loved your play on words and all those cliches and wow, yeah.
One of you said that it's what's out in the open, hidden in plain sight.
Right.
Most obvious is the least obvious.
And I feel what I was going for with that,
Perfect.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you.
Great job. Very good. Thank you. Hey, Cheryl. Would you like to read?
Yeah, I'll read. This is called Unhealed Wounds. Marcellus Williams had black skin gone. So many others like him gone. Going as far back as Emmett Till and George Floyd with black skin, all gone. Eric and Lyle Menendez, soon to be released from prison, on their way home. We understand those with alabaster hued skin always make it home.
Mm. Thank you. That last line is a very, powerful.
Yeah.
Really.
I have to
The whole
leave
poem was.
shortly. Would it be okay if I were to read a poem before I go?
Sure, please.
I mean, unless someone else wants to go, and
No.
I'll be fine with that.
No,
Yeah.
you're fine, Aruna. Please.
Okay. This one's called Awakening. A raindrop droops off a maple leaf into the creek. Ripples curl to the mercy of the sun. Otters in river waters ogle at swinging monkeys. Blue herons stab minnows. Willows fall on the breasts of beasts. Snakes hiss through the woods. Their fangs kiss lizard hoods. The cling of honeysuckle vines, the cling of honeysuckle vines, tang of jack pines, blooms a melody to which wildflowers dance across the forest, veins of purple and pink in the wet soil, spilling life wherever they go.
Mm, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope you can come back again next month, Aruna. know
I
you have
will. I
another
really
one.
enjoyed this. This is
Yeah.
and thank you, Lisa. If you don't mind reminding me before the next session.
Mhm.
Aruna, I put a link to the registration in there, if in the chat. And
Uh-huh.
if you register, Zoom will send you an automatic reminder.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good. I'll find that.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I
That's
do
all.
want
Thank you all.
I do want to make an announcement. I would like to announce that Cheryl J. Jackson will become the Garden Poet Laureate starting in January. She's already transitioning and learning what goes on behind the scenes.
Nice.
But
Congrats.
so congratulations, Cheryl. Glad to have you
Thank you.
in this
Thank you
role.
so much.
It's wonderful.
Thanks.
Look forward to seeing what kind of
Oh.
mischief you can get us into.
Yeah.
I know, I can't wait. I can't wait to have that first conversation, Cheryl. So you and I have to talk.
Okay.
That's
Or
great.
pull the green curtain round and talk behind the curtain.
There you go. Beautiful.
Very exciting.
Does anyone else have a poem? Another poem?
I have one.
Okay. Okay.
This is like, I don't know why this is my favorite poem right now, but it is. It's Quiet Births the Words. In the quiet of life, the words come. They are their form, waiting for you to become their breath. I listen to the silence. I wait in anticipation for the birthing of words. In the quiet of life, the words form. I sing them together as the hidden thoughts birth prose and poems. From the cocoon of my womb, the words lie dormant in the silence, much like a secret tune. Birthed in the quiet light, the words come.
That's lovely.
Very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
nice, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you know, I'm editor for Masticadores USA, and Cheryl has several poems coming up.
Oh,
I've scheduled
exciting.
her several months of poetry.
How exciting.
All the way into June, I think.
Barbara, would mine work for Masticadores or is it too much?
Pardon?
Would mine work for
You
Masticadores or is
should
it
send it. Yes, I was thinking how a lot of these protest poems I could maybe make a, you know,
a
I'm
theme
I'm
around it?
scheduling way into spring, but maybe I can double post, do a protest like I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, send it.
Okay, I
Submission
will do that.
Masticadores USA in the subject line and just my regular email, which is in the chat, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I liked a lot of the poetry I read, and I think it should go out there.
I'd like to try a new platform.
Yeah, and if it if it works on Feed the Holy, I can put it there too.
Okay. Okay. Let me know. I'll send it. I'll send it.
Because I think with Feed the Holy,
I don't know if it's
quality.
upbeat enough. It might not be.
Well, I don't know. It's not all upbeat stuff that I'm getting. People are exploring grief, death. Because I ask in the submission guidelines, how do you suffer? How do you survive? So it's not necessarily all narrative, it's, I'm allowing a range, a scope. There's some I haven't accepted, I just don't know how they fit, but
Okay, I will
Yeah.
send it. I'll
Yeah.
send
I'm trying to be open-minded, because some people may think it's just about, oh, what makes you happy, but what makes you happy may be how you resolved a problem or survived something. Because I tell my story about my depression and what brought me out of it, but that was just, I don't, to get people to think that, we can share our deepest thoughts. Hopefully,
Hopefully,
anyway,
yeah, hopefully.
yeah.
I
Give
have
it a
one more
try.
to share. If anybody, does anyone else have anything to share? I have one more.
Yeah, go ahead. And I have one too. You go ahead.
Okay, who's Melissa, I think it was you that had the they in your poem. They are them. They hate America. They love America. They are pro-life. They put kids in cages. They want abortion on demand. They want control. They gaslight. They lie. They tell the truth. They whine, they brag, they give, they steal, they cheat. They want a wall. They don't want a wall. They hide. They do it in front of your eyes. They want prayer in school. They say no prayer in school. They say there is prayer in school. They want affordable health care. They say get healthy. They say I'll smoke if I want to. They say stop smoking. They say get a job. They say don't take my job. They don't want that job. They want an education. They can't afford it. They want a home. They won't sell for less. They hoard the wealth. They hog the ball. They steal the spotlight. They have connections. They won't let me. They like that sort of thing. They don't like that. They do that. They won't let you. They won't let us. They are cowards. They are brave. They are thieves. They are brilliant. They are lonely. They are popular. They are phony. They are real. They are white. They are not. They belong here. They do not. They are always here. They will stop you. They will help you. They do not listen. They are ignorant. They are arrogant. They love someone. They hate someone. They are hateful. They are good people. They are friends. They are not friendly. They are criminals. They are innocent. They are angry. They are comfortable. They are complicit. They are compliant. They rebel. They resist. They live. They die.
Wow. Wow.
I think that covers
Excellent.
all of them, huh?
Yeah, I think so. And the incongruities and the
Yeah.
they say whatever comes into their mind is fact. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the law because I said it is. Oh my gosh.
It makes you feel like you're being yanked on a chain because
Yeah.
we are.
We are.
Ping ponged back and forth, right? Yeah. It's insane. I just oh gosh, I wrote it down. Hold on, let me find it. There was a video the other day that I was watching, real quick. Something about how can you say you're healthy if you if you believe the lies of a sick society or something?
Right. Or,
How can you say
I
you're
can't
healthy if that's your whole world, being in a sick society? It was a very interesting little video. I don't know if I saved it. But
you say there's poison in the food. You want to save America from the poison in the food, but then there's a photo of you eating Big Macs with Trump and his French fries. I'm eating McDonald's on his
I
plane.
mean,
Yeah.
you could even level up to In-N-Out. I
Right.
mean, seriously. Oh,
I don't know. It's just going to be a wild ride.
But that's only part of the problem. The other part of the problem that no one talks about, and it's not right, it's not left, it's all of them. It's everybody. The news media is the enemy of the American people at this point because they are so bought and sold and compromised until they talk out of both sides of their mouth. It's nothing but opinion. We're getting no news at all. It's Trump all day long. When was the last time that you got any serious news about anything going on outside of American politics?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 100% of the problem that we have. The news media cajoled, French kissed, and behaved like they were on a prom date with Trump since he descended down that escalator. And it's just been this huge love affair with him. And I blame the media because they never asked and posed the proper questions
Right. Yeah.
Or held
and
accountability for the
demanded
answers.
anything of him. Right. They never
Yeah.
demanded anything of him. And so he was able to not have policy one except deportation and victimizing and otherizing other people. And that has ascended him to the White House for a second time.
Right. And he would kind of like a third.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah, when that happened, when he came down the golden staircase, and he would just call into the morning show I was watching, like Today or Good Morning America or whatever it was with Matt Lauer, and they just let him call in, and he would literally say, because you're stupid enough to let me do this, so I don't have to pay for, and I don't have to this, and because you're stupid enough. There's a video of him way back. It's got to be like in the 90s, early 90s or something. I can't, oh, he's at a political convention. I think it was the Democratic convention, and Barbara Walters is probably the one who's asking him the question. Of course, it could be Andrea Mitchell. If you were to run for president, because he was so rich and so popular and so blah, blah, blah. And he said that he would probably run as a Republican because they're stupid.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember
It's there.
that.
It's a video. It's out there. I saw it. And it's all I've ever thought about since the moment he started. It's like, this is just this is not real. This is about something else is happening underneath it. And I wrote a really kind of graphic dystopian view of, what takes place when he takes office. And yeah, I hate it when I'm right.
I know. I know. We have to brace ourselves.
I know. I gotta stop doing that.
I know.
But it just,
It's awful.
There is a publicly funded news source. I put the link in there. We get it in Missouri. It's the Missouri Independent. But there are other states that belong to this network. And I have found the news reporting, at least from Missouri, to be really good.
from this,
From this statesnewsroom.com. Yeah. But I agree about the news. They're supposed to be like the fourth estate. They're supposed to be holding people accountable. And that's the problem, but they've become dependent on funding from anywhere.
and clicks and views matter.
Yeah.
And so remember not too long ago, newspapers were shutting down because because people weren't reading them. Well,
Right.
now all the subscriptions are way up because they're reading them. So
Well,
what makes them sell?
The latest kerfluffle or whatever that's going on, and I've not watched any news since the night of the election coverage. I just couldn't take any more of it. My mental health was just it was just a wreck. And so I pulled out, and I haven't been watching any. No CNN, no MSNBC, no, none of them. And I guess apparently Joe Scarborough got himself in a bit of in hot water yesterday or the day before. I don't know when it was, making the announcement that he'd gone down to Mar-a-Lago and met with Donald Trump, and they began conversations about how they were going to bridge their gap so that they could now interview him again. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Morning Joe or the MSNBC whole situation, but for at least the last 6 years on MSNBC, Joe Scarborough and now his wife, which is Mika Brzezinski, collectively tear down Donald Trump and say how bad he is, how horrible of a person he is, how morally bankrupt he is, how inept he is, how unqualified he is to be president. And so now all of a sudden now, they've gone down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring.
Mm.
And it's so MSNBC's ratings are already in the toilet. They lost something like 5 million viewers since the election. CNN is maybe a little bit better. They've only lost like maybe 2 or 3 million. But MSNBC is in like really, really hot water because no one is watching MSNBC anymore at this point. And I'm gonna say it. I am a liberal, and I know I've not been watching it. And so, not that I'm the voice of that, but if I'm not watching MSNBC, that's like a huge problem. That's like, and I've not watched them in over 2 weeks. I'm not going back to MSNBC. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of all the opinion, the feigned shock and outrage, and
Yeah.
the hypocrisy and the duplicity. And I'm just sick of it. It's like, I can get non-news anywhere. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna get the fluff, I'd rather read the National Enquirer or something like that. I mean, you know, I would at least want to be entertained. But at this point, I'm not entertained. I feel real bad about the state of where we are in politics. And that's all that they care about. They don't care about Ukraine. They don't care about what's going on over in Israel. They don't care about the stuff that's happening in the world around us because they're too busy talking about Donald Trump from sunup to sundown.
Yeah. It's
So I need a break from it.
Yeah. I
I'm the
understand.
same thing. I'm not watching it. I haven't watched it either in 2 weeks. It's just, I can't.
I've
And
found
then all of the blaming,
Go
all
ahead.
of the blaming, you know, the Democrats for not doing enough, you know, for being, oh, when they said something about her making disparaging remarks about blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Everything that comes out of that mouth of his mouth is a disparaging remark, but she's going to get held accountable for
Right.
for what? Not being mean enough? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's the oldest trick in the book.
Oh, yeah.
Scapegoat a woman. Scapegoat a woman
Yeah.
and make her just responsible for all of it.
Totally different
We've
set
seen
of
this.
requirements. Yeah.
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 It's- oh,
I mean, he gets to be flawless and he gets to be lawless and she has to be flawless. It's just a
right.
fact.
Right.
You
Well,
got it. You nailed it.
While I don't disagree with all of the stuff about the media, but I think there's an even bigger problem. Because I've talked with people since, and these are the two things I'm about to say are actual things that people who voted for Donald Trump said. Both women. One woman said he makes sexually explicit comments. He jokes about that with women. And then the other one was, what happened on January 6th?
Yeah.
So clearly these people aren't watching anything and are like, I'm sorry, dumber than a rock if you're living in this country. And so I'm shocked. Like, people literally, I think, you know, when you said they don't care, there's like a big problem with people are just mindlessly going. I mean, they're watching TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, they're
I
watching
wonder a lot of it.
It's bigger than that though, because you've got Hispanics who cannot speak English, who voted against their own interests, about to be deported now.
Right.
Because they couldn't differentiate and understand that Obamacare and the ACA are the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
They think that they are two separate things.
And that's probably part of why people are just pushing so much crap on us. It's because they want us to be stupid.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm a longtime newspaper reader, and we've lived here almost 20 years in Arizona, but we were in LA. I was in LA for 20 years. So I got some pretty good newspapers. And I remember just over time reading them, thinking they're dumbing us down. They're dumbing us down. Look at what's happening to education. Look what's happening to our newspapers and our media, and they're just dumbing us down. I watch my local news media, and they don't talk about any of this. They
Right.
don't talk about any of this. What was the story this morning of, I just kind of was like, this is the news here. What, it's like Barney and Friends. It's not real news of what's going on. And Cheryl, you said something about the media, they're saying washing it. They don't point out the things he actually says. They summarize it into something that makes sense to everybody because he doesn't make sense, and they make him look better than he is. It's The Apprentice all over again. That was a big hoax. That was the Wizard of Oz.
Right. Right. You're right.
That was the Wizard of Oz. And you're right, to see these people go and kiss the ring, what would their grandparents think?
Wow.
They weren't, they're not from here. We're all not from here,
Yeah.
and what would their grandparents think? I think of my father-in-law. I think of my father. I think of my incredibly racist, misogynistic, patriarchal, eugenics believing grandfather. What would he think right now?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's been a setup going on for a long time, the dumbing us down, the ruining of our education system.
The one thing that is never
happening.
going to change and return back to normal is the feigned civility of, oh, we're not really that bad. Once you let the genie out of the bottle, like what was allowed to be let out, the rudeness, the brash, terse, offensive behavior that is just so much part of the MAGA thing. Once you unleash that and you tell people it's okay to say what they want to say, they don't have to be tamed, they don't have to be civil, they don't have to be respectful. They could just let it fly.
Yeah.
You're not going to now all of a sudden get those people to dial any of that back because they feel like they are unleashed.
Right.
And that is the one thing that happened with the insurrection. Those people will be pardoned. He's going to pardon every single one of them, and they're going to integrate back into the society and shop with the rest of us in the Walmart.
Right.
And we're going to be standing right aside and behind those people in the checkout line.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but that ought to be giving you all, everybody ought to be like panicked by that.
I wonder what kind of revenge they will want to enact. They're seeing their leader enact his revenge. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
I worry.
They're entitled like he is.
Yeah.
And, to them, violence for them, that's their free speech, right?
And they're
Not
turning it into a Jerry Springer show. The
Yeah.
world's turned into a Jerry Springer show.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Which
That's
was
the
all
mentality.
a setup to make everyone, fight against each other. All of this, it feels like it's been in the works. This is a magic trick, and a magic trick is all about the pre-planning. I have another story about, I knew someone whose mom was trafficking. I was 18 years old. She was trafficking Russians in here, pregnant Russians in here, so she could marry them off to Americans so their little, American born baby now has a US passport. And then they go back home to Russia. And then when the kid turns 18, they bring everybody back. And so now you have these so-called American citizens. And I have a friend who's in Canada, and she was saying something about their government, how, all these people from this other country are coming in and taking over our government. And I'm like, hello, have you seen history? What do you think happened here? What do you think is happening now? It's happening again. But I've been around that misogyny all my life. And for me, I was taught it was normal. And now that I see the sickness of it, and you're right, how they're just becoming so brazen to say things out loud, the things I'm hearing and seeing is just disgusting.
Yeah. That's why I'm hoping Feed the Holy will bring something good vibes. We need to spread good vibes, right? I would
Okay.
like to thank you all. I mean, this was very powerful. We're right at the hour, and to
Thank you,
respect
yes.
everyone's time. I really appreciate everybody's poetry and also your deep thoughts and concerns. We have to be able to talk about it. But we'll meet again next month. We can
At the well.
Yee, meet at the well, bring more poems, bring friends. People can come and just
Oh,
listen,
so
hang out.
next month, do you
Oh.
want to do it next month in December, or do you want to take a break and start over in January?
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. It's the third week is, yeah, maybe, is that Christmas week? That might be,
Hang on, let me get there.
we could skip, we could come back in January.
The 18th, or no, the 17th, sorry.
17th, so it'll be a week before.
Oh, I don't have any plans. I mean, I can offer it. I think I'll be okay. And
Okay.
unless, what
I'll
do you
be
think? Will
fine.
you guys attend?
I should be able to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to build community, like, and try to fight the alienation that's ensuing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
End on a
Okay.
high note.
Yeah. Wonderful, our tribe here.
Thank you.
Beautiful
Thank you,
people.
Barbara, for
Thank
hosting.
you. See you next month.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Betty.
Bye.